Dental care was not something that I was expecting to have to do when I landed here in Panama, but it was. So let me let me start with a little background information. So about 5 years ago, I ended up breaking a tooth, lower right side molar, the tooth in front of the last molar, and um, and they couldn't save it. They ended up just pulling it. And so at the time, though, the dentist that I had said, now the molar that's all the way in the back is not going to like being all by itself. You are going to need an implant. And he said, and I can do the work. It's going to be about 13 to 15,000. And at the time, I thought, yeah, that's not happening. Especially since I knew that I would be moving to Panama, and I figured I could probably get that work done a little bit cheaper than in the States. So I thanked him and went on about my way, didn't think anything else about it. But I think my tooth was listening because the day that we moved here, so we landed at like 7:30 at night. We got to our Airbnb at like 8:30. We were hungry, so we went out to get something to eat. I got something soft. I got a quesadilla. I broke my tooth, that molar, that last molar, um, on a quesadilla. I'm thinking that tooth was listening and saying, okay, you're in Panama now. Um, let's go and get that implant done because I don't like being here by myself. So, so here I am in a new country, just landed, not even here 2 hours, and I don't know anybody, and I really don't speak Spanish. But there was someone who was going to be helping me find an apartment, and so I called him up and let him know, we have an appointment tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, but I need some emergency dental work. And he said, don't worry, I can help you, which he did. Because at 9:15 the next day, I was in a dentist chair getting that tooth worked on, getting it fixed. Um, and after it was fixed, the dentist said to me, you know, that molar back there doesn't really like being by itself. It's going to need an implant. And I'm thinking, I've heard this story before. And so I asked him, how much do you think this implant is going to be? And he said, well, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be expensive. It's going to cost you about $2,500. Now remember, I was quoted 13 to 15K back in the States, so I'm like, bet, let's do this. And so anyway, the work that he did on the emergency work that he did on that tooth that day, I was thinking, because I'm coming fresh from the States and I've got state prices in my head, I'm thinking it's going to cost me about $500 to $700. So when he told me that to fix this tooth was $120, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I can handle that. So the emergency work on this tooth, $120. And he said he was going to need to do a full mouth x-ray so that he would know what he was working with for the implant. The full mouth x-ray was another $60. So my total that day was $180. Back home, I know that visit would have been $500 to $700. We all know that, right? So anyway, fast forward to the implant. So the implant actually cost me $2,675. But with my jubilado discount, it actually came to $2,281.25. $2,281.25, right? Um, which is great. Like, I really like that. Um, the total shock that I had over the price difference was just crazy. Um, After I had the implant done, then we could go ahead and do the Invisalign. So I know back in the States, I had been quoted 4 to 6K for Invisalign for the work that I needed. My Invisalign here actually cost $1,600 total. The work lasted about 6 months, and that was all that it was. So my impression, so the procedure was very professional. Like every procedure that I had here was very professional. The offices were clean, the staff was friendly, um, same digital scans, same tech technicians were the same as in the States. I didn't feel like I was giving up anything. I, I just felt like it was just like being back in the States without the sticker shock. Um, Looking back at all three procedures now, what surprised me wasn't necessarily the savings, it was how easy and stress-free it was. Like, I didn't feel like I was cutting back on quality. I felt like I was finally getting value for my money. So, in just a few months of being here in Panama, I went from um, needing emergency dental work, getting an implant, to having Invisalign, all at a fraction of the cost that I would have paid if I had been in the US. So instead of being overwhelmed, it showed me that living here means I can actually start taking care of my health without breaking the bank. Yeah. You know, sometimes living abroad isn't about the adventures. It's not all about the adventures, although the adventures are nice. Um, it's also about finding smarter, affordable solutions to everyday problems. So, if you've had any type of dental work outside of the States and you were surprised at the quality of care and anything else, drop it in the comments. Let us know about it because we all want to hear. And if you like my content, give me a like and subscribe. A like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow my channel, and you subscribing really helps. Thanks.